Our weekly reading is one of the saddest, in a certain sense, parshiot, the two places where the Torah in great detail describes the punishment that we will get if we don't listen to Hashem's voice, and we call them tochecha, rebuke. One is at the end of Parshat Vayikra, Sefer Vayikra. The Parsha is called Bechukotai. It's the last Parsha, the last weekly reading of the book of Vayikra. And the second one is here at the end of Dvarim. It's not the last Parsha in Dvarim, but it's close to the end. We always read it 2 weeks before Rosh Hashanah, meaning the last Shabbat before Rosh Hashanah is going to be Nitzavim, and the Parsha before that is Ki Tavo. So in this Parsha, it says a very interesting thing about the punishments that will come to us. It says, Tachat, because of you're not worshipping Hashem bisimcha. You did not serve Hashem in happiness. And therefore you'll be serving your enemies. So the usual translation is, it's because of a lack of happiness, meaning people, even when they keep the mitzvot, but they feel it's a kind of big burden. Okay, I'm obligated to fulfill this obligation. Okay, this hard burden, I'm just gonna somehow fulfill it and throw it off my back. That kind of attitude, or the attitude of mitzvot anashim lumadam, what the prophets used to call it, a kind of habit, just out of habit. Okay, we keep the mitzvot, but without any enthusiasm, without any happiness. So this kind of attitude leads to all kinds of negative things. I mean, once a person doesn't really appreciate the Torah, certainly his children see it, they will appreciate it even less. A lot of times that's what happens when people see that the parents are not particularly happy observing the mitzvot. They only consider it a difficult burden. The children might not want to observe them altogether. So whatever the case may be, this can lead to all kinds of other avirot, other sins, and ultimately to punishments. So, of course, serving Hashem b'simcha, in happiness, in good heart, in appreciating what the Torah that Hashem gave us. All of that is extremely important. In Judaism, a number of great rabbis, including the Vilna Gaon and the Arizal and others, said that what they achieved is through worshipping Hashem b'simcha, being happy when you do Hashem's mitzvot. But there's an interesting translation that is suggested to this particular verse, somewhat different than what we just said. Rather than saying, because you did not worship Hashem b'simcha, you did not worship Hashem in happiness, maybe it means the opposite, that you did not worship Hashem, meaning you did sins, and you did it b'simcha, meaning not only you absolved yourself from keeping the commandments, but you were also happy about it. You were extremely happy that you didn't feel like keeping the commandments. You were enjoying it, kind of. Enjoying sinning against Hashem. That's what maybe the verse means. I saw it in a sefer called Mayanash Torah. There is a book like that. It's a likut. It's a kind of collection of sayings from different rabbis. It's a relatively short book. It's a 5-volume commentary that's available in many synagogues. I think I heard that originally it was in Yiddish and later was translated into Hebrew, but whatever the case may be, his sources are not always clear. Here he says for this particular idea that his source is Sefer Hasidim, the book by Rabbi Yehuda Hasid. I'm not sure that this is correct quote, but the idea itself is definitely a known idea. I've heard, for instance, mentioned that Rabbi Menachem Mendel from Kotsk, a very unusual Hasidic Rebbe, known for his unusual views on certain things, that he's the one who used to explain this verse this way. Maybe there are others. Again, usually when there are interesting ideas, there's usually not one rabbi, but more than one who comes up with these ideas. So whoever is the correct source for this, I don't know. But the idea itself sounds very interesting, because first of all, it makes sense that the main punishment is not simply because we didn't worship Hashem with happiness. If we worship Hashem, let's say it's not the ideal mitzvah. In fact, in the cycle of Daf Yomi, learning one list of Talmud a day, is going to be the sugya, which is also in a different place in the Talmud soon, but it's also in this tractate Horayot, that just started. There is a sugya that says clearly that the person who does the mitzvah even for his own reasons, not in order to fulfill Hashem's mitzvah, but let's say he ate the Pesach, the Passover offering, he ate it for his own benefit of the stomach, basically. He likes it, it's tasty. So the Talmud concludes that this is not considered that this person is a sinner. He still fulfilled the mitzvah. Okay, he didn't do an ideal mitzvah, for sure not, but this is considered a mitzvah. Even a person who keeps the mitzvot without much happiness and without doing it for altruistic reasons, to serve Hashem, even so, he's considered basically righteous. He's definitely not considered a wicked person. So to say that Hashem is going to punish us because we don't serve Him in Simcha sounds a little bit strange. Of course, it could mean that this could lead, once you don't serve Hashem with Simcha, like I said, it could lead to other sins, to other avirot. But just serving Hashem without doing it b'simcha doesn't sound like it deserves such a great punishment. On the other hand, a person who not only sins but does it b'simcha, he's happy that he's sinning, he's enjoying it. So that, sounds like it would be something that Hashem would punish for. And in fact, there is a Sforno, there's a commentary of Rav Ovadia Sforno on the episode where the Jewish people are worshipping the golden calf, and Moshe comes down and he sees all the mecholot, how they're dancing, they're so happy, meaning not only they're sinning in happiness, they're really enjoying it. And then he is completely, Moshe is, it's only when he saw that the real happiness that the Jews had at the time of sinning, that's when he was completely disappointed. Meaning his main shock came not only when he heard from Hashem what the Jewish people did, that they made the golden calf, but when he saw their happiness, they're enjoying it, enjoying the wickedness. That's the terrible situation. In fact, a lot of Orthodox Jews, even when they sin, most people sin once in a while, but there's always something in the back of the mind that, this person is feeling bad about sinning. He's not really enjoying it. He can't really enjoy sinning. A person who is educated on Jewish values, on the books of Musar, even if sometimes he may sin, but he'll feel bad about it. That's already a good step. If a person feels bad, then that's the first step to recovery, to tshuva. If a person is enjoying sinning, that's just terrible. And on this, I'm going to end for today. If you like this video, please press like and please subscribe to our channel.